Every day, men and women in this great country wake up and set about building their dreams. They are the lifeblood of our land. They are the workers. And this is Workers' Prayer.
Good morning and welcome to Workers' Prayer. Today, we are bringing to you a very interesting testimony of Mudiegi. Yes, Mudiegi was raised in a very disciplined family, but he lost his mother at a very young age, and because of that he started being depressed. He started hanging with wrong crowds, and he started involving older women. Yes, having relationship with older women, people who were old enough to become his mother. He was involved with them because he wanted that motherly love, and he found himself being a stepfather at a very young age. Relationships, he was abused. It's a very interesting story. You are going to hear from him how he got out of free. Today, he's a young man who is leading his life, looking forward, for a bright future.
Kuba maruri muruti so go supegetsa gore ga gona sepe se leng gore se palla modimo mathata a ene gore a ka re palla le batho a ratlise mo modimo a ra begele mo modimo o ka ba ile gore o iphitlhela o le modimo tse leng gore khotsana o lekile gore o dira rabolla ka diatla tsago mme go ntse go apala o lekile gore o re wa di lwantsha ka senamana mme go ntse go thatahetse hela mme ke batla gore ke re ka bopaki jo ene gore ke jwa ga modiri wa go lemoga gore so se le sengwe se leng gore o na simolla go se dira ke go ba tumelo ya gago mo tirisong mme na re moraga mo a bona kgolesego ya boammaaruri ka lebaka la gore modimo ke ene o e leng gore o ka re golla go sa kgathalesege gore o lebaka o sokotse go le kae kana go sa kgathalesege bokete ja semo se o le mo go sona modimo o ka go golla motswetse lebella bopaki jwa ga modiri.
My name is Mudiegi Rasefako. I grew up as a young boy who was listening, but I lost my mom when I was doing 5, and that led me having this sadness inside of me. And at school I didn't do well because I was always sad. I was always wondering without my mom, and that led me to have this much sadness inside of me. And then I went to junior school with this sadness. When I was finishing my Form 3, I started hanging up with guys, the groups that were going around beating people, we were going around with partying, and I was sleeping there. But at home, I was still a good guy. I listened to my parents, I listened to whatever they were saying, and I was doing everything that they need for me to do at home. But outside there, I was another guy. And then I went to my senior school, where I didn't do well. When I finished, I went out to find a job. In finding a job, I started feeding my addictions because now I was smoking heavily. And I started to feed my addictions with my salary, and then who was 11 years older than me, because I was in search of this motherly love that I missed long time ago. And then I dated her, but the relationship was not good because he controlled everything about me, my salary and my everything. And I didn't have peace inside of me. And I moved places and places. And then I came back to Gaborone. When I got into Gaborone, and then my life was still the same. I met another lady, and then I was stepfather at that time. And then my life was not good at all because I was living in depression after depressedness, but I didn't know. And then due to that, I was addicted to pornography. I was addicted to sex to extent that I went to go for these people, the prostitutes. And then I was going there to buy, and I going to them. But I tried sort of things, but they didn't give me peace. Then one day I came to church. When I came to church, I was taught about chain of prayers. I was taught to fight for my finances. I was taught to fight I did as I was told. And then I started seeing some changes in my life. I started engaging myself. And then with the work of God, I started to give all. But it was hard because I was dating at that time. And everything didn't change immediately because there was something that I was holding, which was the relationship that I was on. And I made a decision because I was taught in YPG that I have to leave everything that I'm holding inside of me. But what was left was that relationship. Then I had to leave that relationship. After leaving that relationship, I saw God doing some changes in my life because I was able now to receive the Holy Spirit, which is sustaining me even today. And what I want to say to people out there, the young men who are there, is that God can make a difference in your life. No matter how difficult it is, God can make a way in your life like He did in my life. Because I was inside the church, but I didn't have peace inside of me. I always had people talking about the Holy Spirit, how they receive the Holy Spirit, how they live a peaceful life, how they have joy inside of them. But I wanted to have this joy. And then, because I was still having relationships outside, I was still going to parties, I was still smoking even when I was coming to church. But I learned that I have to leave all these things. And then I came to church every day, Monday to Sunday. I evangelized. I talked to my mentor at that time, and he told me not to give up. Fighting. I made some movements of waking up and seeking the Holy Spirit. It wasn't any movement in the church at that time, but I had to make my own movements because I wanted the Holy Spirit. I wanted to have that peace inside. I wanted to have, and not to leave the presence of God and go back to the world. And I really thank God for that peace and joy that He brought inside of me, because I no longer want to smoke. I no longer go to places like bars and partying. I no longer have any pleasure with things of this world. I want to thank God for that.
Often we are faced with various kinds of problems in our lives, and we lose the direction of how to overcome them. So why not pray and ask God's direction? Now prepare your glass of water, because it is time for a moment of prayer. Let's talk with God.
My God, my prayer, I'm directing it to those, my Lord, who are having spiritual problems, those who are addicted, those who are not able to sleep at night, those, my Lord, who are followed by curses wherever they go, those that whatever they put their hands to doesn't succeed, my God.